Hi Kriss, thanks for being with us today.
Hello, hi, thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. So Kriss is a fashion designer whose brand is mixing fashion with lingerie. Tell us a little bit more about Kriss Soonik as a brand.
So, Kriss Soonik as a brand has been going for 4 years now, and with that time we've been kind of coming up with new concepts in the lingerie industry and in loungewear. So we call it lingerie, which is a mix of lingerie and loungewear. And so very many of the pieces, it's luxury lingerie, so it's very sad if you buy something quite expensive and then you hide it in your drawer or wait for an occasion to wear it, or you wear it once and then it stays in the drawer and you'll be like, oh. But with those pieces, very many of them, you can actually wear them also as part of your outerwear, and it kind of gives this multifunctionality to it.
So this concept, underwear to outwear, right?
Yes.
How did you originally come up with that? Was it sort of idea you've been nourishing for a while, or it was just a sparkle of all of a sudden sort of thing?
I think it has always been around somehow, because when I started designing, I think it's now more than 10 years ago, I was doing women's wear. And I felt it wasn't entirely for me, so at one stage I thought, ooh, let's try lingerie. And then I think from then it has always been mixing outerwear and lingerie pieces, so it's never been just doing bras and knickers. And I think the concept actually has been growing stronger over the seasons, and just seeing how people react to it, and you never know, you think maybe it's just in my head, but if you start getting positive feedback, then you think like, oh, we might be on the right track. So more and more we have less and less bras and knickers and more like tops and dressing gowns and things that are more multifunctional.
Right, so more multifunctional. Your audience, the people who are your clients, who are they? What's your targeting audience?
Well, it's very hard to say like who exactly, what exact age it is, because I think it's more about the idea, and if people love it, they can be 20 or 60, they go for it. I think it's people who understand fashion, they love originality, and they're willing to experiment a bit more.
Right. On your website, it stated that your fashion is not cute and sweet; it's more sexy and powerful.
Yes.
What's the reason for this sort of limitation?
Well, I think the main reason for that sentence, especially, is because, for example, the dressing gowns that we usually see and what women wear are really pink and fluffy, and they have like lollipop written on there. What we want to do is go the other way and make it black and like with like patent detailing and just something stronger, because I don't know why everyone has to wear something cute and fluffy at home if you actually don't like it. And I don't know why this women has to change from being modern and quite sexy maybe every day, then goes home and just changes into I don't know what. So I think that the main concept is that, just to get rid of this sweetness in that area. But I think like overall, it's our concept is it's quite minimalistic, the design we do, but it always has this quirky little detail to it. So it's either a lace bum detail, or it's a color, or the wings on the back, or there's always needs to be something.
Right. Is that true that you have just 2 collections per year?
Yes, we have 2 collections per year, and these are the main like seasonal collections, and then we also have 1 classic collection that we keep on doing season after season. That's our best-selling styles, basically.
All right. I think I might apologize in advance, because in my program I tend to ask more entrepreneurial questions, so they have to do with the business. That's why I'm not very arty type of person.
Don't worry.
But still, before going to that, where do you take the inspiration? How does it work? Because I believe that fashion, it's about art and inspiration and business itself, right? So I guess it's not a sort of manufacturing belt that goes every day, and you have to sort of balance the creativity and hard work. How does it work exactly in your area?
Yeah, I mean, it is hard. It's, you know, you have to change your hats all the time. You know, one day you're a designer, then you put on the salesman's hat, and then you put on the, you know, I don't know, accountant or whatever. So it changes, and why I love it is because my job changes constantly. So, you know, for example, right now I'm designing the next spring-summer 14 collection, while we are selling the autumn-winter 13 collection to the stores, and the current spring-summer collection is launching to the people and to our customers. So it's always like 3 collections at the same time. So you have to be very well organized to understand what's going on. And of course, sometimes your creativity just sucks it out of you. So you have to actually make room to become creative again. And it's a challenge, but I think it's quite exciting as well. That, you know, if you feel like, oh, I can design, I'm in a good mood today, I can design, then you just leave everything and just focus on that. You don't care if you get emails or not, or you're just in the mood and you're just gonna do it. And inspiration comes from everywhere. I mean, traveling, you know, walk in the park, meeting friends, past collections, a lot of it, past collections of things you think like, oh, I should have done that instead of that, and, you know, you're gonna just try, and it's just a constant work in progress, and it's sort of like never ending, because you're never happy with anything, and if you're happy with something, then it means, you know, it's done. Move on. So
do you have any favorite designer or someone who's in the same industry and you can use his works as a benchmark, for instance?
I don't have a specific one designer, because I think it would just start influencing too much the designs, and you'll become copying. But I think it's a lot of like different designers, and I don't really follow any trends. I just try to do what kind of I want to do, and also with the colors, it's very, you know, I love going through old magazines, and, you know, I rediscover designers, and it's very, yeah, it's just all over the place.
Right. About your background a little bit, did you study design in the university? Nope. Or so you self-made designer?
Yes.
Right.
My background is, my BA is from business and my MA is from marketing. So it was at London College of Fashion, but it was definitely all the time from the business and marketing point of view.
Wow, that's amazing. So you can combine all the angles.
Yeah, I think it's, you know, in a way, I never wanted to go and study design, because I thought that, you know, I've always been a bit different with my designing and my approach to design, and I thought that, you know, if I go and start studying it, maybe I will just become, you know, put in a box, and I can't think, you know, out of it anymore. And for me, for example, because I don't know, it can be a good thing and bad thing that I don't know so much of the details of how you should build a collection. But at the same time, if I can think of something, then I go like, it can be done, it must be done, because if I'm thinking it, it's realistic. So I think, you know, there are less boundaries, and in one way, and more boundaries in another. But when I was at London College of Fashion as well, and, you know, you just see all the super talented designers, and who are all studying design, and they end up being pattern makers or just designers in other companies, because they don't have the business knowledge, and they just don't know how to, you know, get themselves out there. And that's what I didn't want to happen to me.
Right. I also read that since you originally come from Estonia, all of your designs are made there.
Yes.
What's the reason? What's the reason for that?
Well, when I first started, then I was looking for someone who would meet quite small minimums, would be flexible with, you know, with our designs, would understand our concept, and I wanted something quite close. And so for me, well, it was sort of like a very natural step, because Estonian manufacturing is actually very high quality, because they mainly manufacture for Scandinavian designers who are well known for their, details and quality. And yeah, I've been really, really pleased with what they do for me, and we've been growing together now, and they're super supportive of what I do. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it will all go well.
Great. Hopefully it will. I believe it will, because I really like the website and the collection that you have. I think guys love what you do.
Thank you. I hope so. I mean, we have a lot of male customers, and it's mixed, so it's never about just women or men. So it seems to appeal to everyone.
Right. So since I've touched that, your website, what does it take to have a really good, well-selling website in your industry?
Well, it's very tough because there are a lot of websites that have multiple designers, and they take all the energy away. So just to be a designer and just to be seen and being recognized, it's very hard work. So I think social media helps a lot nowadays. So everything that's online, anything what has links with you, it just builds an audience, and a lot of the people are just they're just browsing through, so they've never heard your name before, so they come and see your website, and it's not going to be immediate purchase. So it's a lot of like work to get those people back, and just I think it's just building up an audience, and social media definitely helps nowadays.
Right, but I mean, what's the best channel, sort of thing? What's the best way to get your client in your case? Apart from social media, I mean, do you use some other activities, some other methods?
Well, we're now selling in boutiques as well. So we're now in 15 countries, a total of 24, 25 boutiques. And these are a great channel as well, because they usually don't sell the whole collection. So if someone likes the pieces that are selling there, they come to your website, and then surprise, there's more. And I think this has helped a lot, and of course, like just general press as well. PR activities, events, all those things. So I think nowadays, just the website is a window to your brand, and you need to, especially with us, it's a bigger concept than actually just manufacturing pieces. And I've always wanted to build a brand and get a good brand point of view. And I think this is what the website does best.
Yeah, let me show you website to our viewers, because I think it's really awesome. I think people can see it from here. You got really cool logo, by the way. How did you design that? Was it your idea?
Yes, it's a funny story actually, because everyone immediately asks me, "Oh, do you love cats?" And actually, the story is that not really. I'm more like a dog person, but I think cats are very our collections. So cats are very lying on the sofa, being cozy, ignoring you. But then if they want to get attention, they can just do something, I don't know what they do, but they become the most glamorous creatures on the planet. So they have this cozy and glamorous side to them, and I think they're just perfect as a logo for us.
So they do appeal for the brand and for the industry the best.
Yes. Yes.
Right. Speaking about the industry, well, obviously it's probably fashion and lingerie. It's one of the most beautiful industry you can probably imagine, right? But then coming from the pop culture, let's say Devil Wears Prada, these sort of movies, they show that inside of this beautiful industry there's a real fierce competition. People are ready literally to kill others to succeed. Is that true? I mean, the situation, is it the same as they show on the TV or somewhere else?
Let's say it is definitely not that glamorous as it looks from the outside. And what my experience shows is that the more expensive the brand you work for, probably the less money you get, and the more time you put your and effort under there. And it's definitely, because it's such a competitive industry, right? Everyone can try to become a designer, for example. So the information that journalists get every day of new designers wanting to get somewhere, and it's just crazy. And I think, like, how they say, like, it's overall, like with startups, like most of them fail. So it's a very constant work of proving that you can survive. Every season you go like, hey, I'm still here. and it's tough because of the competition and the quite low barriers of entry. And it seems like such a glamorous thing to do that people go like, oh, I want to be a fashion designer, but actually most of your days of being a fashion designer is nothing to do with fashion design. It's about getting your manufacturing sorted, it's about getting your samples sorted, it's about getting stores. It's nothing glamorous at all. It's just a lot of emailing, and it's there are a lot of backstabbers in the industry, but mostly I've met very, very, very nice people, because I think people who are hardworking and know what it means to get on in that industry are generally very nice and sweet people.
Right, that's good to know for those who want to become like you.
Yes.
Well, if someone wants to, let's say, do something like Kriss Soonik and has some capabilities as a designer or entrepreneur, something like that, in a nutshell, what does it take actually to create this sort of fashion place that creates beautiful things? I believe it takes some business acumen and other things. In a nutshell, how does the whole thing work?
Well, it's as I said, my background is not fashion design, and I think I've always been more interested in the business side of things and just doing my own thing. And but what I've seen from other designers who have a design background, they need to have that business side coming naturally. So you to do your own thing, you have to have both sides. It's even those designers who create something amazing, and they think that they want to get a business partner, they still need to sell that idea to that business partner. So you have to have something in you, and you need to get really good people around you who support you through this, because it can get quite lonely, and especially you have to design for other people. So you have to get ideas from other people, get their opinions quite early on, and sometimes those opinions can be quite harsh. So you have to be prepared for everything. And as the competition is hard, then you have to have a very strong selling point. You have to have your uniqueness, and I think coming up with that, it's either you have it organically, you're gonna work it out somehow, or some brands, they just never find it, and they can keep going and going, and at some point they realize that they can have a nice product, but that's it, and the competition is hard. And it's just, I don't know, you have to be really, I think, organized to become a kind of a sort of like an entrepreneurial fashion designer and start doing your own thing, because your life changes constantly. As I said, one day you're designing, the other day you'll be an accountant. So you just have to be prepared for it. You have to know all the angles of how things work, and it's hard.
Right. Is there any best place to be for the fashion designer, like New York or London, where you're based right now, or Paris? Does it exist?
Yeah,
as best place?
I think it is, especially our company is based in Estonia, and everything is manufactured there and so on. But I've always wanted to be. I mean, I've been living in London for 8 years, and I feel how it has helped me get some sort of image behind the brand, because everyone knows cool things are coming from London, different things are coming from London. So if you have that London aura around your brand, I think it adds to it. And then when you say, you know, I'm from Estonia actually, and everything's manufactured there, then they go like, oh, it's quite a nice story together. But if I was just based in Estonia, and I don't know if it would have had that same reaction. And, you know, I think the people around you, the fact that you can, you know, liaise with people, it's important to be in constant movement. I mean, why I'm mainly in London as well, it's so easy to travel from here. You know, one day you can be here, next day you can be in New York or in Japan. And I think that's really important to feel the, you know, the global market.
Right. Is it expensive nowadays to start your own fashion industry, your fashion, you know, place?
I mean, it's not expensive to start. You know, you can just do a sample collection, and it doesn't take much money. But to actually start growing and properly doing it, I mean, I've been doing it with as low budget as possible. I've always been focusing on quality and you know, timing, so that the collections will be in stores on time, because if that doesn't happen, then, you know, they don't want you next season. You have to be really professional in that sort of way. And but I think when the company starts growing, you know, it's there's a lot to do with luck, but it's also just, you know, very strategic going. So, you know, you get into stores, you need to have press, so it's constant work. It's not, you know, you can do it with very low budgets, but the question is where you want to end up. If you want to do something big, you have to invest more. If you just want to, you know, do it for fun, then it's very easy to do. You can even get quite good press out of it, you know, but to actually make good business, you need to invest.
Right. A question that's been passed in myself for some time now. When it comes to demonstration of your models, right? How do you look for people who will show your products? I guess there are sort of criteria apart from just having a beautiful body. How does it normally work?
Well, you mean more like for like photo shoots or for
exactly.
fashion? Yeah, photo shoots. Well, I really try to work with Estonian models, because, you know, Estonian models are quite well known in the world, and I think we have quite good-looking girls there. But overall, I never wanted to have images that are just purely you know, too beautiful to look at, too photoshopped, or, you know, unrealistic in a way. And I think a lot of the lingerie industry is exactly like that. You look at the image and go like, it's still, you know, it's just unrealistic, and no one looks like that. So what I want to show is more like the kind of a funny side of these women, or, you know, a bit more natural, and yeah, just more fun of it, and just beautiful girls who are not photoshopped like crazy, and yeah, just natural side.
Right. A question to you, as for someone who's been in the industry for years right now, what the next big thing's gonna happen within fashion industry for the next 5-10 years from your perspective?
Well, I think definitely online shopping, e-commerce. This is a big thing, and this is what will keep developing and causing a lot of problems for retailers who are, you know, actually owning shops, and so I think, yeah, this is definitely a big change, and it will be very exciting to see how it develops, because you at some point you think, oh, everything has been done already, and then another company comes who does something even better and even more brilliantly. So I think it's a very interesting journey.
Right. Well, for those who got hooked up to Kriss Soonik right now, apart from your website, where else can your products be found?
Well, as I mentioned, we're all over the place. So, you know, 15 countries.
Any
go on the website, take a look.
Stores, any maybe big brand stores, like I think fab.com. That's where I saw you.
Yes, that's probably one of the most well known. we're mainly in kind of niche lingerie boutiques, and the best ones you can think of, like New York and Journal, in LA it's Fairfield Fru, in London it's Coco de Mer, so it's all the best ones. And yeah, we're slightly getting into department stores, but that's mainly in Japan and Saudi Arabia. So yeah.
Wow, even Saudi Arabia.
Yes, yes. So it's a very exciting and interesting market for us, especially because of the loungewear side of our things. And yeah.
And what's the first priority right now? Are you looking for partners, investors, maybe, or someone to work for you?
Well, we're actually, I think, more and more thinking of getting a proper like PR agency involved with our work, because so far it has been very organic and just I think to get the brand to the next level, we definitely need that sort of help. So I think that's one of our kind of priorities.
Right. At the end of our program, we always have a table set of questions. When we ask you simple questions with several options as an answers, and you pick up one or two if you like. All right. Steve Jobs or Bill Gates?
Oh gosh, Steve Jobs.
Which phone to use? Android, Apple, maybe iPhone, Windows
Android.
Phone? Android. Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Going to a party or staying home?
Oh, staying home.
Which car, Mercedes or BMW?
Mercedes.
Fruits and vegetables or fast food?
Fruits and vegetables.
Egg or chicken, what came first?
Chicken.
Being married or not being married?
Being married.
God believer or atheist?
Is there a third option?
We need to come up with
atheist. Let's say that.
All right. For those people who are watching us right now and want to start up but may have some doubts, would you advise anything?
Just do it. Yes, just do it and try it, and you will never ever get that idea out of your head, and you will never get answers from anyone else. So if you feel you're ready for it, just do it. This was Kriss from Kriss Soonik Loungerie for In2up.